YouTube, which made it the second most watched live event on the platform, behind another space-related event, Felix Baumgartner's jump from the stratosphere in 2012. 54 reactions. The choice of the Roadster as a dummy payload was variously interpreted as marketing for Tesla, or a work of art, with some worrying about the risk to contamination of otherwise sterile solar system bodies. Some also commented on how the Roadster was not a space debris risk. Marketing. Musk was lauded as a visionary marketer and brand manager by controlling both the timing and the content of his corporate public relations. 55, 56, 57, 58. After the launch, Scientific American said using a car was not entirely pointless, in the sense that something of that size and weight was necessary for a meaningful test. Thematically, it was a perfect fit to use the Tesla car, and there was no reason not to take the opportunity to remind the auto industry that Musk was challenging the status quo in that arena, as well as in space. 55. Advertising Age agreed with Business Insider that the Roadster space launch was the greatest ever car commercial without a dime spent on advertising, demonstrating that Musk is miles ahead of the rest in reaching young consumers, where mere mortals scrabble about spending millions to fight each other over seconds of airtime. Musk just executes his vision. 56, 57. Alex Hearn, technology reporter for The Guardian, said the choice to launch a car was a hybrid of genuine breakthrough and nerd-baiting publicity stunt without any real point beyond generating good press pics, which should not detract from the much more important technological milestone represented by the launch of the rocket itself. 59. Lori Garver, a former NASA deputy director, initially said the choice of payload for the Falcon Heavy maiden flight is a gimmick and a loss of opportunity to further advance science, but later clarified that I was told by a SpaceX VP, vice president, at the launch that they offered free launches to NASA, Air Force Seat, but got no takers. 60. Musk responded to the critics stating he wanted to inspire the public about the possibility of something new happening in space as part of his larger vision for spreading humanity to other planets. 8. Work of art. Photograph of the black emptiness of space, with planet Earth partly in shadow in the background. In the foreground is an open-top red convertible sports car, viewed from the front over the hood, with a mannequin in the driving seat that is wearing a white and black space suit. Musk's Roadster mounted to a Falcon Heavy rocket. The Verge likened the Roadster to a ready-made work of art, such as Marcel Duchamp's 1917 piece Fountain, created by placing an everyday object in an unusual position, context and orientation. 61. Alice Gorman, a lecturer in archaeology and space studies at Flinders University in Australia, said that the Roadster's primary purpose is symbolic communication, that the red sports car symbolizes masculinity, power, wealth and speed. 62. But also how fragile masculinity is. Drawing on anthropological theories of symbols, she argues that the car is also an armor against dying, a talisman that quells a profound fear of mortality. 63. Gorman wrote that the spacesuit is also about death. The starman was never alive, but now he's haunting space. 63. Space debris non-risk. Orbital debris expert Darren McKnight stated that the car poses no risk because it is far from Earth orbit. He added, the enthusiasm and interest that Musk generates more than offsets the infinitesimally small littering of the cosmos. 64. Tommy Sanford, director of the Commercial Spaceflight Federation, said that car and its rocket stage are no more space junk than the mundane material usually launched on other test flights. Mass simulators are often deliberately placed in a graveyard orbit or sent on a deep space trajectory, where they are not a hazard. 65. Bacteriological contamination. The Planetary Society was concerned that launching a non-sterile object to interplanetary space may risk biological contamination of a foreign world. 66. Scientists at Purdue University noted that the vehicle will be sterilized by solar radiation over time, and the vehicle is most likely to hit the Earth in the future, though some bacteria might survive on some components of the vehicle which could contaminate Mars in the distant future if it was to hit Mars instead. 67. Orbit tracking. The car and the upper stage were passivated by intentionally removing remaining chemical and electrical energy, at which point they ceased transmitting telemetry. Based on optical observations made using a robotic telescope at the Warrumbungle Observatory, Dubbo, Australia, and refinement of the orbit, a closer re-encounter with Earth, originally predicted for 2073, is not possible. 68. In October 2020, the car made a close approach to Mars, about 8 million kilometers, 5 million miles, away, at which distance Mars's gravity had no significant effect on the Roadster's orbit. 69. The Virtual Telescope project observed the Tesla 2 days after its launch, where it had a magnitude of 15.570, comparable to Pluto's moon Charon. The Roadster was automatically spotted and logged by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAS, telescope operated by the University of Hawaii. 71. The car was observed by the Deimos Sky Survey, DSS, at a distance of 720,000 kilometers, 450,000 mi, with a flashing effect suggesting spinning. 72. Mostly black photograph with small white dots of varying sizes making up a star field, dated as the 8th of February, 2018. 4 white dots in a line are each circled in red and labeled with a timestamp at giving the position of the Tesla Roadster as it moves across the sky at 4-minute intervals. Roadster photographed with a 0.43 m telescope of Dubbo Observatory in Australia, on the 8th of February, 2018, 16:29–16:50 UTC, at a distance of 550,000 kilometers, 1.4 lunar distances, from Earth. Varying brightness suggests spinning. Through measuring changes in apparent brightness of the object, astronomers have determined that the Roadster is rotating with a period of 4.7589 plus or minus 0.0060 minutes, i.e. 4 minutes, 46 seconds. 73. By February 11, 2018, astrometry measurements from 241 independent observations had been collated, refining the positions to within 1/10 of an arcsecond and published by the CSATL mailing list, a group of amateur satellite spotters more accurate than foremost. Observations of objects in space. 74. Future predictions. The Roadster made its first close approach to Mars on the 7th of October, 2020. The next close approach to Earth will be in the year 2047 at a distance of 5 million kilometers, about 13 times the distance between Earth and the Moon. 75. Simulations over a 3-million-year time span found a probability of the Roadster colliding with Earth at approximately 6%, or with Venus at approximately 2.5%. These probabilities of collision are similar to those of other near-Earth objects. The half-life for the tested orbits was calculated as approximately 20 million years, but with trajectories varying significantly following a close approach to the Earth-Moon system in 2091. 76. Musk had originally speculated that the car could drift in space for 1 billion years. 14. According to chemist William Carroll, solar radiation, cosmic radiation, and micrometeoroid impacts will structurally degrade the car over time. Radiation will eventually break down any material with carbon-carbon bonds, including carbon fiber parts. Tires, paint, plastic and leather might have lasted only about a year, while carbon fiber parts will last considerably longer. Eventually, only the aluminum frame, inert metals, and glass not shattered by meteoroids will remain. 77. Potential follow-up mission. In August 2019, as the Roadster completed its first orbit around the Sun, 78, Musk stated that SpaceX may one day launch a small spacecraft or Starship to catch up with the Roadster and take photographs or even return it to Earth for studying solar erosion on it, just as Apollo 12 did with Severa 3 Landis components. 79. See also: List of artificial objects in heliocentric orbit. List of passive satellites.
Good. Let's stop. And delete. I like to read this one tonight. Found soil, dirt, but I like to watch the early evening news and the video splits in a few minutes. I have 2 Danish videos. Put the public. No, there's 1 Danish and English. So I need to upload some video, but we get some, we need water. Then I will start uploads, then watch the news, charging the camcorder, then I can read the soil. So I like to learning something new. That's why I do it, because I have to sit like this next many years, because I have no money to travel. But when I get a faster gamer computer, I will spend a lot of time on computer game. But I will keep read this next many years, why not? When I go travel, when I go travel like Germany, I can read about Germany or Berlin or Hamburg. I can read about the capitals I'm going to visit and all the different countries.